Daniel's Music Foundation.
Lyric Writing Series 1 Introduction to Lyric Writing. Episode 3 Lyric Writing Exercise.
Hi, my name is Scott, and I'm an instructor at Daniel's Music Foundation. Welcome back to Episode 3 of our Introduction to Lyric Writing series. In today's episode, we'll take what we've learned so far and use it to write out the first lines of your own song. You may already have an idea of which of your personal experiences you'd like to use to turn into a song. For this video, however, I'm going to suggest a specific focus for us to take. I also recommend that you pause this video wherever you need additional time to think or write. If you don't already have them handy, make sure to grab your notebook, audio recorder, or whatever device you're using to record your thoughts and lyrics. Take a moment now to think of a positive personal relationship in your life. It can be anybody important to you. A friend, family member, loved one, coworker, or neighbor. Once you have somebody in mind, think back to a moment when they said something really kind to you. It could be a moment when they complimented you, told you how much you meant to them, or raised your spirits at a challenging time. Try to remember everything you can about this memory. Where were you? What were you doing? What was the other person wearing? Think back to the sensory imagery that we practiced in episode 2. Were there specific sights, sounds, smells, tastes, or touches that you associate with this memory? At this point, you may want to pause the video and explore this moment further. Take a couple minutes to write out or record everything you can remember. Now that we've identified a clear moment to focus on and identified the sensory images around that moment, we're ready to begin putting some lines together. We're going to put together 4 lines today. In our first line, we will describe the scene, where we are, and what's around us. In our second line, we'll describe the subject, the important person in our story. In line 3, we'll describe what was said to us. And finally, in the 4th line, we'll describe how much it meant to hear that. I'm going to start us out by going through this exercise myself and showing you an example. I've selected a close friend as the subject of my song. One day, we were walking through a park and they said to me, "You can do anything you set your mind to." And it meant a lot to me. So that's what I'm going to write my song about. When my friend said this kind thing to me, we were walking through a city park in New York on a brisk spring afternoon. So this will be my first line. It was a pale spring day in the city. Now, in my second line, I'm going to describe the subject, which is my friend in this case. I'm going to describe what I saw the moment before they said this kind thing to me. You smiled and looked right at me. In my third line, I'm simply going to quote what my friend said to me. Note that in your case, you may need to shorten or paraphrase a statement if it's too long. For my line, it will sound like this. You said you can do anything you set your mind to. Finally, in my 4th line, I'm going to describe what it felt like to hear that. And my happy tears welled up like morning dew. My 4 lines together will sound like this. It was a pale spring day in the city. You smiled and looked right at me. You said you can do anything you set your mind to. And my happy tears welled up like morning dew. Now it's your turn to go through this exercise on your own. Don't worry about rhyming or counting syllables your first time through this. Instead, focus on writing compelling lines packed with sensory images. If you feel prepared to do so, I encourage you to write your own lines from scratch using the format that we've used here. As a reminder, the format goes like this. Line 1, describe the scene. Line 2, describe the subject. Line 3, describe what was said. And finally, in line 4, describe how that made you feel. If you need a little bit more support getting started, feel free to use this fill-in-the-blank format. Line 1, it was a, describe the weather, day in, name the place. Line 2, you wore a, describe their clothes. Line 3, you said, describe what was said. Line 4, I felt, describe how it made you feel. I hope you enjoyed exploring lyric writing with me in these videos. I encourage you to practice what we've learned here. Identify important personal experiences and the moments that stand out. Practice writing with all of your senses to describe the people, places, and objects that are important in your stories. Thank you for watching our Introduction to Lyric Writing series. In our next series, we'll discuss rhyming and song structures. We have lots more to learn together, but I want you to take a moment now to congratulate yourself on taking a big step in learning how to write your own lyrics. Remember, your stories and your voice are unique and important. Nobody can tell your own story better than you, and the world is waiting to hear what you have to say. I'll look forward to seeing you again for our next series.